Welcome to another episode of Sub-Auteurs. It is now 2024. It's a new year. We have a new episode. I'm your host, Misha.
I'm Mai.
And we are going to be talking about a movie that is near and dear to our hearts.
It is. Is it? Or whatever it was based on was really near and dear to our hearts.
That is true, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
But wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Why aren't you in pink? It's Wednesday.
Jesus Christ.
You can't sit here. You have to record.
It's not lunchtime, so I'm not breaking the rules. Okay. It is dinner time. It's Wednesday. I am not wearing pink, but it's not lunchtime. We're not in the cafeteria. So I'm good. We're safe. We're safe. You don't need to be mean, girl.
Buti pa yung guest natin naka-pink.
Fine. You guys look great. We are joined today with one of our favorite content creators. Hello, Hanwich.
Hi, hello.
Yay! And I'm so happy. I think this is the perfect episode to actually have another girl on here. Sorry, Anja, wherever you are. Hello.
Yeah, you're not girl enough.
What? And you are? That's why you're here.
That didn't go the way I thought it would.
But yes, and just being a dad, doing stuff. But yeah, we have Han here today. So excited. She completely dressed the part. I'm so happy.
I said I was sorry.
That was not a passive-aggressive jab at Misha. Or
no,
maybe
that was
a
straight jab. That wasn't passive-aggressive.
Right in the jugular.
I'm not wearing pink. Unfortunately, I also did not wear pink at the premiere of the movie that we're going to be talking about today.
What day was it?
It was Thursday, so I didn't break any rules. And but I did not use my ponytail allowance for that day either.
Okay, good for you.
So I got 6 more days where I can do that.
Okay, good for you. Oh crap, I'm wearing jeans today. It's not Friday.
It's okay. I forgive you. But you can't wear track pants anymore. In case you guys have not guessed, we are talking about the 2024 remake of Mean Girls.
Yeah.
And we are excited to talk about this because, as we mentioned, we love the 2004 version with Lindsay Lohan and Rachel McAdams and everybody else in that one. The new one is based on the 2018 Broadway musical, which unfortunately I haven't seen.
Me neither.
But I think Han can walk us through it because she's memorized it pretty much.
Cool.
That's a lot of pressure.
Not at all. You'll be fine. So, without any further ado, run the music. All right. So, how are you guys doing? It is a new year, and we're going to be talking about a film based on a 20-year-old movie.
Fuck you!
I can't believe that Mean Girls came out in 2004.
It's like start of the year, the first movie I was looking forward to, and that it just had to remind me that Mean Girls from 2004 was 20 years ago. So
oh my God, 20 years. I saw this in the cinema.
Me too. Thrice.
Can't say anything about that. I was 8.
Oh my God.
Okay. I feel older. But, okay, I want to ask you, when did you first encounter the original and how, if you were that young when it came out?
I think I watched the original when I was in high school. They were all in high school, so it was pretty relevant. And I don't know. I forgot when I watched it. But I remember that I was so obsessed with it that I had this friend from really when we were 7. Mm-hmm. We were friends already, and then she moved to Australia, and then the only way we would communicate to each other was quoting Mean Girls quotes to each other.
Cute.
Which one of you was Regina George?
We were basically all of the characters because we just quote each other quotes out of the blue. So.
I hope you're still friends.
Yeah, we're still friends.
Oh, that's great.
Yes,
we speak normally now.
Very nice.
Oh, man.
I mean, no judgments if you're going to be talking exclusively in movie quotes. I know people like that.
Yeah.
And how about you, Mai? When did you first watch this movie?
Well, when it came out in the cinemas, I was a fan of Lindsay Lohan already at that point because she did Freaky Friday. I loved Freaky Friday. And I think that was her like peak, I think. Mean Girls. I'm sorry, Lindsay Lohan, but that was, to be honest. But after that, I watched it in the cinema 2 more times. And I own the DVD and I've watched it countless times. And I think this is the movie I've rewatched the most in my entire life. Like it even beat, like, let's say Beauty and the Beast or Mulan growing up. That's how much I am obsessed with it still. And after seeing the movie at the premiere, I still watched the original like a couple more times.
Very nice, very nice. Well, in my case, I saw it in the cinema. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
Yes, because I'm young.
Whatever. I also saw it in the cinema.
But yeah, I was really excited to watch the 2024 version, courtesy of Paramount Pictures Philippines. They kindly hosted me and Han. We went to the preview screening at the Sony Columbia offices, and we had a great time. I also did not wear pink there, even if it specifically said so in the invitation. I figured it's not Wednesday.
Just keep trying to, defend yourself.
It wasn't. It was Thursday.
Fine.
Can you imagine how bad I felt when the elevator doors opened and the whole office was pink? I was like, shit.
Well, I think you were in red, which is the primary color.
Yes, filter lang yan.
Okay. All right. I also want to thank Monster RX 93.1. Haven't said that in so long. Oh my God. Thank you, Hazel, for bringing me as your date. And yeah, sayang nakatulog. You would be here too if you didn't fall asleep.
Gusto ko nilaglag mo yung Hazel.
Love ya, Hazel. Miss ya. You can she also guested here before. You can check out our episode on King Richard.
Yes.
Yes, but anyway.
It's okay. We still love Hazel, but today we love Han.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I'm glad you guys saw it together. So at least you have a shared experience and you can also share how it went at the screening room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mentioned earlier that the movie is based primarily on the 2018 Broadway musical, for which Tina Fey, who wrote the original movie, she also wrote the book of the musical, and she wrote the script for the new movie based on the book. Based on the movie that she wrote. She wrote everything.
Yes.
Tina Fey can do anything.
Yes, she can. I love her so much.
So the story basically is what you remember from 2004, where a girl named Katie goes to high school in the States after growing up in Africa, and she encounters all of these new rules that she has to follow, all these new social conditions that her new friends have to walk her through, and she encounters the popular girls, the plastics. Tell us about the plastics. Why are they plastic?
Well, just like how they described it in the movie, they're like cold, shiny, hard, and
well, that's true though.
That is. It's very true.
And I don't know. I think it's a very fitting. I think also in the context of us in here in the Philippines, because there are a lot of people not plastic.
Yeah. It's an accurate description. I'm not sure if they have the same description in the US that you call somebody who's different to your face and totally different person behind you. So I'm not sure if that's also a term for the US.
Well, I think it still fits either way.
Yeah.
And the queen bee here, the queen of the plastics, of course, is Regina George, played by Rachel McAdams in the original, and played by Renee Rapp here. Renee Rapp actually played Regina George. She was one of the replacement Regina Georges from the original musical, so she knows this thing forwards and backwards. She's also joined by her minions.
Minions.
Well, they are.
No, not those minions. I'm sorry.
Karen, who is probably the dumbest person you'll ever meet, and Gretchen, whose hair is so big because she's the secret keeper of North Shore High School. Our lead character, Katie, is played by Angori Rice, who some of you may remember from the Spider-Man movies.
Where?
She was like their
Benny
friend.
Brandt.
Yeah, she hooks up with Ned in Europe.
Oh, right. Okay, that's her. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And she's like the wide-eyed, innocent person who's introduced to this new world of backstabbing and hierarchies and cliques and all these things. Something that I loved about the old one was that it is honestly one of the most quotable movies that you will ever see. Like even at a young age when I first saw this movie. I realized that.
Yeah, and there's really no denying that the 2004 original is legendary. It's like it's top tier talaga in terms of teen movies, and it shaped so much of pop culture in the rest of the 2000s. That sounds so gross just saying it. But
20 years ago.
It's true, but it's well loved, much quoted, like you said, and I felt like it was the perfect blend of that time's teen comedies. Like there were those like dumb teen comedies out there. There's no shortage of them in the 2000s. But it was smart.
Very smart.
It's the writing was just intelligent. So it was the perfect mix of entertaining, still having those elements of what makes a fun, dumb teenage movie at the time, but also you pick something out of it without it being cheesy.
Apparently, this was based on like real insights because Tina Fey based it on a nonfiction book called Queen Bees and Wannabes, which was all about how people group together in high school and how they figured out their personalities and how everybody just wants to fit in. And Mean Girls was really one of the first movies that brought it out. I don't want to say like in a real way, but it kind of was. You really felt the alienation of Katie when she first shows up in this crazy jungle place.
And eats in the bathroom. Like, have I? I have.
You've eaten in the bathroom?
Yes, because somebody would keep taking my food.
Oh my God.
But that wasn't in high school. That was earlier. So yeah, kids are mean.
Yes, not just girls, I guess.
But no, I know that's gross. Just one time lang naman.
Okay, fine.
Just that one time. But yeah, you could totally relate to how she would like try to navigate through all these different tables and personalities, but just end up fitting in with, I guess, her seatmates in homeroom.
That's true. I can't say I had any experience with Mean Girls per se, like in real life. But again, I'm not a girl. God damn it! Why am I here? How about you, Han? I mean, could you relate to this movie in any way?
I don't think I can relate in terms of there were Mean Girls. Like I've known Mean Girls in my life. But when I was in high school, I was more of the invisible person. Like I could just blend in with all of the cliques and I could just do that. So maybe it was a coping mechanism for myself so that they wouldn't be mean to me at all.
I mean, whatever worked at the time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Honestly, I can't imagine you being invisible in any context, but okay, fine. I guess high school was different for everybody.
Yeah.
In this new movie, we also have Katie's friends, Damien and Janice, who help her out and figure out where she's supposed to fit in this new food chain that she finds herself in. And the casting here is a little bit different from the original one.
Yes.
What did you guys think about Damien and Janice this time around?
I love Damien. Janice was amazing. Janice was Moana.
She was Moana.
Yeah. Yes. So I appreciated. At least I knew that I had no context about all the people in the cast and their singing abilities. Besides Renee Rapp, whose song from the soundtrack I was already hearing on the radio. But it was comforting to know that Olii Carvalho was there, as you know, you already heard how she would sing. So I was like, oh, okay, that's great. At least somebody knows how to sing. And apparently, like, they're all pretty good. So that surprised me, having no context from the Broadway musical at all. I didn't know any of the songs. I just went in there as somebody who just wanted to see how this remake was. But then with how it's diversified with different, you know, gender preferences also, and, you know, their races and such, I think it just made it more 2024 at this point, because that's how, you know, it's nice to see a more diverse cast now. It still played out like the usual high school experience. Like, no matter what race you are, you still have to go through that. So it's nice to just have that collective experience despite all the differences they put into this 2024 movie.
And I think it's kind of, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, that for all the things that have changed society-wise or whatever, a lot of the situations that happened in the first Mean Girls movie were still relatable in this new one. The bulk of the plot involves Katie infiltrating the plastics so she can find out exactly what they're saying about everyone around them. They welcome Katie at the beginning because she's fresh meat, basically. They want to see what she's all about. And things go from there. Eventually, Katie finds out everybody's secrets. She's got dirt in everybody. And unfortunately, at some point, she becomes a plastic herself. And the movie is all about finding yourself and being true to yourself, and how women are supposed to uplift each other instead of tearing each other down.
You've got to stop calling each other sluts and whores. Sorry.
I stopped doing that years ago.
Sorry. Okay, disclaimer. Lots of 2004 quotes will be coming out.
Yeah.
No judgments. Okay, so that is the premise of the new one and the old one. What were you guys thinking going into this, Han? What were you thinking when we got the call to go see this movie, or even when the first trailer came out? What were you expecting? What were you hoping?
I guess I was, what I was thinking when I first, actually it started when I learned about the casting. When I heard that they got Renee Rapp, I got really excited because I've seen how she sang the songs and how she was a really effective Regina George. So I was really excited about that. And then I heard they also got Ali. And we all love her as Moana. So, and also, since she was casted as Janice, I feel like it's the right choice because for the musical, she has a lot of very powerful songs.
Yes,
and it was really a good choice that they got her for Janice.
Mm-hmm.
But for the movie, I guess what I expected was, since it was an adaptation of the musical, I wanted to see like more of the musical. Yeah, I think that was pretty much what I expected initially from it.
And how about after we saw it?
To be clear, I love the movie, but I just wish that it had more of the musical elements. Because they casted so many people that could really sing and could really put themselves out there and could really do justice to all of the songs. But I feel like it was toned down, even for Renee and Ali. But they did a really good job. But like, I wish I could have seen more.
I see.
That's fair. And how about you, Mai? What were you thinking going into this? I know you were excited.
I actually had mixed feelings because, first of all, it made me feel really old. It's been 20 years. But on a personal level, because I loved the original so much, it was the catalyst for a lot of things that I already love until this day. It started my love for Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, SNL, improv, because apparently a lot of it was improv. So I fell in love with that concept. And it was formative for me, and I'm sure not just for me, but like an entire generation, like millennials in general. And that's exactly why I found it so difficult to even fathom that there are other cinematic versions that dare associate themselves with it. Like I call it the imaginary sequel.
Oh.
I call it the imaginary sequel because it doesn't exist to me. It's
that
like,
direct-to-video thing?
No.
Mean Girls 2.
No.
Oh my God, that was so bad.
That is imaginary. That's like it's one of those blips in our timelines.
So bad.
But yeah, I also didn't watch the Broadway musical because, no access. And also, I was scared. I had the same feelings. Like, I don't want it to mess up the image of what I have for something I love so much, right? So I felt, I guess, going into it, I still have to watch it. I guess I was still pretty excited. And it was comforting to me to know that it was a musical. So at least it wouldn't be like a carbon copy or try to be so much of what I loved from the original. So I guess the only way I wouldn't hate it, for me personally, my my internal monologue is like, the only way I wouldn't hate it is to look at this new version as it is, as a musical. And I guess that helped. It differentiated it in a way, and I did find it fun.
Okay, fair enough. I had a similar thought process, I think. I mean, I was worried about it because...
worried is a good...
Because remakes are hit and miss. And in my head, you don't really try and remake something. And I know I've said it before, you don't remake something unless you think you can do something better or something different with it. That's why I like remakes like Ocean's 11, because the original was so boring. Okay, I like the Thomas Crown Affair because the original, was really slow, and the new one, they took it in a different direction. For this one, Mean Girls, I think that they didn't take it far enough with regards to trying to make it new. I was excited when they said it was going to be based on the Broadway musical, but if you watch the actual film, it's not strictly based on the musical. It's like a hybrid between the musical and the 2004. It's like they didn't know if they wanted to adapt the musical or do a remake.
Yeah, that's also how I felt. So not seeing the musical, just looking at it in general as a musical. So even if I didn't have the context, it did have its dynamic moments, but there was still a lot of talking in between.
That's true.
It's like a lot of the narrative pushing forward is still through the talkies. And, I'm used to musicals having like these pivotal moments being pushed forward by these amazing song numbers, in which some cases did. But a lot of the fun was still just when it was just them not singing or dancing. So it's like a mix of the two, which was a little weird, but I still enjoyed it. So it's fine.
Fair enough. Oh my God, do not Google how old Lacey Chabert is now.
No, thanks.
Really? You don't want to know?
Fine.
Lacey Chabert played Gretchen Wieners in the original one. You want to know how old she is? She's 41 now.
All right.
Oh my God.
Well, I guess while we're at the topic of musical now, this is just like looking at it as like a moviegoer. It had, like I said, the visual dynamic moments that make a traditional musical. I did enjoy Revenge Party.
That was good.
I did enjoy Sexy from Halloween, one of my favorite movies. That was really fun.
Yes.
Dance break.
Yes.
Pero visually, ang sikip niya for a musical.
Yeah.
Like
Fair.
the shots were so tight. And I value dance as a huge part of musicals kasi, but I was barely able to see much thanks to the predominantly like mid shot or tight shot framing, So
which is kind of weird because the directors of this new one, Samantha Jane and Arturo Perez Jr., actually come from a music video background. And I didn't feel that either. I felt, you're right. It could have been more dynamic. They could have widened the frame a bit. It's almost like they weren't sure whether or not they should go all in on the musical part of it.
Yeah. Actually, since you mentioned Revenge Party, I have a slightly different opinion on it when I watched it. I feel like, because when I watched the Revenge Party at first, like before in the musical, I feel like it's a song that really captured their feminine rage.
Yeah.
Like it's very rageful because they want to take revenge. And then when I watched the film, it was so colorful.
It was rainbow.
It was really happy.
It's like a rainbow threw up everywhere. And although I like those aesthetics, like I am a very colorful person myself. It's like, it's not what I was expecting for a revenge song. Like, I wanted it not gory because it's still...
Oh, that would have been fun! It would have been
The lyrics are hella gory, man.
But like, I wanted to see more, more of them being more spiteful and more being revengeful, I guess, because it's Mean Girls.
Exactly. And like, Revenge Party is where you see everything they try to do to sabotage Regina. But then I felt like the things they did were kind of mild. I think, but that's not mean. It's like, that's not backstabby at all. Like, I just felt, not to compare. Again, it's so hard not to compare. But then the things Janice, Katie, and Damien would plot to do just to like spite the plastics were so like I missed the fine. That I'm fine. I'm not gonna reference anymore. But
no, it's okay. Go right ahead. That's what we're here for.
I missed the tank top with the holes. Yeah, like that level of mean.
But they brought the wet look back.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. She just got the sprinklers just got turned on. Okay.
Fine, fair enough.
But yeah, that wasn't mean enough.
I know, so I totally get what you mean.
We can come back to what we missed later on. We'll talk about the differences and the similarities. But right now, I want to know, what did you guys like about the 2024 version?
What I really liked about it was how it really incorporated some of the elements of how social media comes into bullying. Like it's so funny to me, the whole sequence where they just like slut shamed and bullied Regina and Katie eventually online, and then it's full of just people on TikTok just making videos
like their hot takes.
Yes, that was a good update.
And it's full of like memes, putting their pictures on like meme videos, and then them putting out polls and stuff. It was a really good like modern take on bullying, I guess.
Yes.
And there were a lot of cameos in that one.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion.
I know.
it's like, in what world would Megan Thee Stallion care about these high school students?
This world.
It's like, was she a North Shore alumna?
Oh my God. I think she would fit in there. Was she Queen of the Plastics at some point? Or was she victimized by them?
She was with the... Okay, fine. They don't even get into the cliques anymore with the mean names of the cliques. But referencing the old one, she'd probably be with the unfriendly black hotties.
Fine. Not the horny band geeks. Fine.
Or you never know. Megan Thee Stallion, let us know. Whoa.
I'll let you know when she tags us. Anyways, what did you like about the movie, Mai?
To be fair, I liked what Han already mentioned, the injection of social media and how it is very 2024. But I also really liked the casting, save for one, which we will talk about later.
Yes.
That one we all agree with, but didn't hate it, but didn't love it. But Renee Rapp was
oh my God,
fucking amazing.
I
loved her so much. Absolute perfection.
I loved her so much.
Yes, and it was kind of unnerving. There were moments how she sounded exactly like Rachel McAdams, like voice wise. Parang, was that a line from the movie? That was her? So it's like, it's amazing what she can do with her voice, obviously. And again, we already mentioned Janice and Damien were great. I loved his French class moment where they were asking like names and stuff. He'd be like, Celine Dion, Beyonce.
No,
I love that so much. And yeah, basically the casting.
Absolutely. And for me, I agree with you guys. On a lot of those points, I really like the fact that they took efforts to update the old material. Whether it was the social media or even changing up some of the punchlines. Like when Damien performs at the talent show.
Gags.
I liked it because it was something new and it was unexpected, but it still fits in perfectly with these characters and with this universe.
Pray tell, what did he sing?
He sang this beautiful, soulful French rendition of the iCarly theme song.
The best. I think that was one of my loudest laughs in the cinema.
I think I cackled.
I think everyone in the cinema that time really just burst out laughing when they revealed it.
Because because I'm sorry, old Damien's rendition of Beautiful was, that wasn't the best.
But did you know, I think I remember Tina Fey mentioning in one interview, I think she wasn't even sure, but she was like, when he threw the shoe back? But I think that was kind of improv.
Really?
It's like they weren't expecting him to throw the shoe back. I guess they added it in eventually, if I remember correctly.
There was also an interview with Tina Fey where she said that she just put in the iCarly gag just for the hell of it, and she's surprised it got all the way to the final version because she just put it in there because one of her co-writers on 30 Rock was obsessed with iCarly. So she didn't know it was going to go all the way. Yeah. As they should.
As they should.
I liked all the new little touches. Which brings us to I felt that the movie was a little bit heavy-handed in referencing the old one.
It's fan service because obviously, I think a huge chunk of people who would be watching this, more than the generation now who they're probably really targeting. But there's no denying that people who would watch this mostly were us who grew up on it.
That's true.
So I feel that they had this pressure to please us.
I see.
So they were like people pleasers in this case. They want to make us happy, but they also wanted to make the fans of the musical happy, but also appeal to the new generation. So they were trying to do so many things that they could have just focused on one direction.
Rachel McAdams is 45 years old.
Shut up!
I'm sorry.
Jesus!
I'm just going to be throwing this out as we go. What did you think of the fan service, Han?
As a fan of the old one myself, I think I really appreciated it. I just wish that they did it in a way that wasn't like, because sometimes when they say the line that's referencing the old movie, it would be like, for example, it's the line, she doesn't even go here, and then there's like this little pause, na parang, hey,
You get it?
you get it? Like, okay.
So for me, it didn't even have to have that many callbacks. It just had to still have that spirit of meanness that was so present in, I guess, both also the Broadway musicals. Because since you have no complaints about it not being mean enough, so it's that. It's just that that mean-spiritedness and that eventual turn towards the end. So that parang doon ako nakulangan talaga. It's like, it's that obvious change from that whole jungle kind of scenario until like, oh, girl world is nice and happy. We're all friends.
I think they could have been meaner. I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly think like it's in the title, Mean Girls. Okay, so in an interview, Tina Fey said something like, even Regina George would know better than to say something that would get herself canceled. But I'm like, I don't think Regina George would care.
Yeah. Or I think kids are still pretty mean these days. They can still say pretty terrible things.
I think there's a way for Regina to be, like, there's a lot of people out there that are really creatively mean.
Yes. Yes.
Like, they would know how to say things that would skirt around being canceled, but they're really, really mean.
Yeah.
I remember there's not a scene where they did the when Regina says vintage, that's cute. There's a scene like that, right?
Yes.
But it's so weird because nowadays people can still like do that passive aggressively, like insult what you're wearing, and in the most creative ways also,
like backhanded compliments.
Yes. Something else that Tina Fey said was that when she wrote the original movie 20 years ago, she was still basing a lot of it on her own experiences in high school, and she accepts that might not necessarily, a lot of that might not necessarily apply to high school experience of today. But I mean, from what I've seen on social media and from what I've observed myself, I mean, like, kids are just as mean now, if not more so. Because social media has made it so much easier to like backstab somebody or to talk shit about them with,
no consequences.
With no consequence because they're not face to face anymore.
Yeah, I get it. But I understand. I really understand how they're really trying not to offend. But I hope audiences also learn how to compartmentalize. Like, yes, there will be these mean moments on screen, but it's all part of the narrative. That's what makes the characters what they are. Mean girls, plastics.
Yes.
And there is still that sort of redemption towards the end. So that's, for me, what just really pushes the narrative forward. So I hope audiences can still learn to decipher it's part of the story. And it has to be that mean, okay? It doesn't have to be cancelable, but still mean for you to really see the difference.
Can we talk about one sequence that was in the old one that I thought really encapsulated the whole film that isn't in the new one? And Han is actually the one who pointed this out to me. the 4-way phone call where Katie is just getting dirt on everybody, and everybody is just talking shit about the other one because they don't think that the other people will ever hear what they're saying.
Aren't you so mad at Gretchen for telling me?
I think it's such a. I wish they put it in the film because like maybe they could have done it like over FaceTime or something.
Yes, absolutely.
Like we don't do 3-way, 4-way phone calls anymore. I mean, no one uses the phone anymore.
Yeah, true.
But they could have done it like a FaceTime call or something.
And then you
else.
mute your mic, turn off the camera or whatever, and then you're on your phone, right?
Yeah, or like just have another chat window.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Screenshots.
Right. So
receipts.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they still could have done the 4-way split screen. It still kind of would have worked where you see what each of them is doing. I especially like that bit. I'm sorry. I just remembered from that 4-way split screen where Regina George is just eating everything in sight. And she cuts a small piece of bread and then she looks at it and she eats the whole big piece of bread anyway.
My God, the small touches like that.
Oh my God, they could have done like if it was like a Zoom call and then for Karen and maybe she thought she was muted.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Right.
Oh gosh, sayang. But yes, that's another, like, it's just transposed into like current times. There's still so many ways to be mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we agree then.
So you agree? You think you're really pretty?
Let's talk about the characters. First and foremost, of course, we have Angourie Rice as Katie.
Grown.
She's not even the narrator in this one.
No, I see why. I mean, fine.
Yeah, because she doesn't have the vocal range.
Oh my God.
She couldn't even sing the opening number. Her friends had to sing us into the movie.
No, I think it's just a change of perspective. One thing they tried to do different, like this is a cautionary tale, as they say. So
I guess.
So you can really see Katie into it. But that's not my main problem. My main problem was she just looks
She's
so
basic.
Okay, mean girl.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Over here. No, fine. Kind of vanilla. I'm sorry.
No, she's very vanilla.
Yeah, but no, because, okay, I hate, again, we shouldn't be comparing, but given the context of all the callbacks, I have to compare.
Yeah, no choice.
What I loved about Lindsay Lohan was she perfectly showed us being Katie, the new girl, fresh meat, completely naive and oblivious to everything. And you could really see her transformation to becoming like Queen Bee eventually.
Yes.
So it's not just acting wise because Lindsay, oh my God, she nailed every part of that narrative from being a loser to Queen Bee. And also visually, like the styling, you could really see it. But I barely even saw that transformation with Angourie Rice. I'm so sorry because that's what makes this so pivotal for Katie as a character, because like, oh, you're the new girl and then suddenly you just skyrocket into being the new Regina George. That's like very drastic. So drastic was nowhere to be found here.
But I also like in the old one, you're right, they built up to it where she became Queen Bitch, where at some point she didn't realize that she was doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In the old one, they had something like where she's like, oh, I'm going to do some Regina George bashing today. And
major plastic sabotage.
And her friends are like, we don't have anything planned today. And he's like, no, I'm doing my own thing.
I planned this on my own.
I feel like for when Lindsay did it, it was more apparent when she transformed into the Queen Bee. But when Angourie did it, it really just felt like she was playing a person that's trying to be mean, but not really mean.
Like we had to take their word for it that she was now a queen bitch.
Yeah, so Lindsay had this staggering change. Meanwhile, for me, Angourie was just like, that moment when she just finally says, oh, you can't sit with us. That was the meanest she got. That was the most Queen Bee she got.
Boo-hoo.
Right.
Well, speaking of the narrative, let's talk about the narrators. Here we have Jaquel Spivey as Damien and Moana as... Well, she is as Janice, okay?
Want to see how far she'll go? Not very far because she wasn't mean enough.
But I think that the movie is brilliant whenever Damien and Janice take over.
I love them. So I didn't find it bad that they were the narrators at this point because I just loved them so much. Their chemistry was great, and I appreciated that.
I loved the best friends because they are there to call out Katie on her shit when she turns, even if Angori didn't sell it, they did. They sold the hurt, they sold the betrayal. They were even watching the same horror movie when Katie comes to them on Halloween night, and you really believe that they would be offended by how their friend basically screwed them over.
Yeah,
I even like the change from having the car back by midnight and making it into a Segway.
Oh my god, the little segue, that's so funny.
And it's in the spirit of the original without having to redo the original.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was great. But okay, fine. Let's say something nice about Angori as Katie. She looks like Jenna Fisher.
Yes!
They look so much alike.
Okay, now that we're in the casting, I love the mom casting. So at first, to see Tina Fey, to see Tim Meadows as the teachers, I was so excited to see Regina's mom. Is like, please let it be Amy Poehler. Please let it be Amy Poehler. But it wasn't. But I forgave that because Busy Phillips looks so much like Renee Rapp.
Yes.
It's so believable. So I was like, okay, fine. I forgive it. I got over it quickly because Busy Phillips was hella funny.
Because she's not like other moms. She's a cool mom. Follow her on Instagram.
Oh God. But yeah, also obviously Pam as Katie's mom. The splitting images are amazing.
I remember there was when I was watching, and then there's this scene in the classroom with Katie. She had half her hair back, and I almost thought it was like Jenna Fisher in The Office.
Yeah.
She really looked like her.
Yeah, the casting for the moms was amazing.
Can I just say it was interesting that there aren't any dads in this version. Like Katie,
Right,
Katie
Katie
comes
had a
from a
dad.
single mom home now.
And you don't see Regina's dad either.
Yeah, that poor guy taking pictures.
Doesn't she look great, honey? He's just at the side like crying.
But I didn't mind that it wasn't there because it was kind of uncomfortable for like in the old movie with the dads, and then seeing their daughters like that, and then they were like uncomfortable in a very, it's like insinuating something not great. So
Well, although their daughters here weren't so bad anyways.
Yeah, well,
that's true. It's like they were like the mean girls in a Disney movie, kind of in this one.
Yeah. And that's what I liked about it. Was raw. The original was raw.
They
it
were
was real.
They were like really nasty to each other.
Yeah, so that's just what makes it so effective.
But I will say, I do like Tina Fey and Tim Meadows' teachers are actually together in this one. They're so cute.
I squeaked when they were like, they officially made Principal Duval and Miss Norbury a couple with like, you're walking the dog. Like, I'm going to do this for you. Like, together. That's adorable.
It is.
Meanwhile, in the original, you just have them, their little flirting moments, and towards the end, in the spring fling, just dancing together with Tina Fey and her little doe eyes and stuff. That was adorable. But like here, oh my God, they're so cute. Yeah, that's the fan service I appreciated.
Yeah, that was fine. Because again, they weren't just redoing what they did 20 years ago. That was fun. Something that made the old movie stand out visually was the outfits. What do you guys have to say about the outfits here?
Because clearly a lot to say.
I'm not an expert, okay? I dressed like a 12-year-old.
You didn't wear pink.
I did not wear pink. But surely you guys have other opinions on other people's outfits.
Yes, we do.
okay, so look.
I think this is the moment Han was preparing for.
So we were all like expecting so much from this film, and it's a Mean Girls movie. You have all of these girls that are supposed to be on top of their fashion game, and they also, I remember them releasing like stills from the movie before it came out, and everyone just ripped into it very hard.
Oh man!
And I was really hopeful, like when the movie came out, maybe it's just that one still.
Yeah.
But then it was like that the whole movie. And for me, it's like everyone was shopping in Shein or something.
Oh my God. No. That is harsh.
Shit. And yeah, we don't have back in the 2000s, yes, it's Juicy Couture.
In my day.
Shut up.
In her day.
You're older. And the track pants, the mini skirts, the statement tees, it was very reflective of the time. But I don't know, this didn't have any character.
And it was so weird because like for Gen Z fashion nowadays, there are so many other things that could look really, really good. Like teen girl fashion. It could have been so much more, but they chose outfits that were more fads for the Gen Zs, and it can like really go out of style really, really quickly.
Yeah.
So you don't see like this one being watched 20 years from now, same as the old one?
I feel like it's still like, it could be watchable still, but like I think the fashion is just...
Oh my God, we're going to be laughing at the outfits then.
Yeah, that's... We're both like...
but then again, there are a lot of fashion things that we cringe at nowadays, but they're coming back into season right now.
That is true.
I don't get it.
Was not expecting to see elephant pants again or cargo pants.
Or low-rise jeans.
Yes.
As an unfashionable person, I will say I expected more from the plastics.
Yeah.
From Regina George especially.
Well, Regina had this really cool bodysuit moment with, like the cutout sides with the jeans. But then I would imagine, especially if you put social media into it, like these people would like be influencers. They would have so many followers. They would dress to the T. And I think the best dressed out of them would be Karen, because she injected some of her like culture into it.
Yeah.
And, obviously all the boobage going on that she's so proud of. So yeah, I feel like she's the best dressed one out of them. But you expect a lot from Regina, which had her cool androgynous moments din naman. But I don't know. I wasn't expecting mini skirts, but...
And it's kind of weird because like if you see the cast in press tours, they really like... Because sometimes in press tours, they would still like dress up as themselves, but as their character. And they kind of did it better than they did it in the movie.
Exactly. So sayang. I mean, they could have had fun with it. It's a musical.
That's true. That's true. What were your favorite moments, though? What's going to stick with you? Like when somebody says Mean Girls 2024, what are you going to remember? What's going to pop up first?
I think the cameos.
Okay, let's go there. The movie has a lot of cameos that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting Ashley Park, but then when she was there, I was like, oh, it made sense because I just happened to know she was Gretchen in the Broadway musical. I did not expect to see John Hamm, in which I was like, if John Hamm was Coach Carr, yes, I would understand why he'd be hooking up with people in the projection room above the auditorium.
Oh my God.
It's like...
Which got downgraded to a janitor's closet now.
I know.
Which is gross, because who the hell would make out in a janitor's closet?
I mean, if you're really that, high school hormones.
Fine.
And if it's John Hamm.
Oh my God.
It's John Hamm.
This podcast does not endorse underage sex with teachers and students in any shape, form, or size.
We don't, but I am not underage. Obviously,
but this grown-ass woman next to me would happily go after John Hamm.
Watch the original movie 20 years ago. That is enough, right? Okay, yes,
sure, yeah. And it's John Hamm, fine.
Yeah, so I guess they uncreepified Coach Carr, which is fine.
He's still a moron.
Still, I love it when John Hamm plays idiots.
Yes.
I really love it. So, yeah.
I love that when he spelled hormones.
And which also is a callback to the original because Coach Carr spelled chlamydia wrong.
Yes.
He spelled it with a key. So, yes, John Hamm totally would, fine, in a closet, whatever. Can we also get to the surprise cameo?
Yes, I remember discussing this with Han because I said I remembered when the movie was being made, it made headlines that none of the original cast wanted to be in this remake to do cameos because they said what was offered to them wasn't much. It was kind of insulting.
Well, I heard differently from Tina Fey.
Oh.
In an interview I read, it was more like, okay, producers were like, can we get the original girls back? But then, parang it was more of, we can't do all 5. Which was a nicer way, I guess, to say that we don't have the budget for all 5 anymore.
Well, that's true because this wasn't supposed to be in theaters. It was supposed to be direct to streaming.
Exactly. So she just, sugar-coated it a bit that we can't have all 5. But she said something like, we just have to have this one person.
Well, what I say is that I think she was the cheapest at this point.
Oh my God!
I think she needed the money. All she does now is rom-coms on Netflix.
Oh God! But yes, loved seeing Lindsay Lohan.
Yes, fine.
Very happy about that. And I felt that was the perfect moment because you've seen all the other cameos at this point. You've seen, Ashley Park, and also, Coach Carr at the start. But then, I wasn't expecting to see Lindsay Lohan that late in the movie, but I felt like it was the perfect moment at the mathlete competition thing. Was it regionals? Yeah.
It was a nice callback, and it was a very good surprise, actually, to see her there.
Yeah, and it was a pivotal, redeeming moment for KD as a character. So it was, I think, also the most meaningful place to put her in.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah. And surprising. So it's like, holy shit, it's Lindsay Lohan! And there were like gasps in the cinemas. Nobody saw it coming.
That is true. So seeing Lindsay was great. Somebody I also would have wanted to see was Jonathan Bennett.
Oh,
right? Because he was Aaron in the original, and I'm sorry, the new guy just doesn't do it for me. As I know what that sounds like, but the new guy is just, and I apologize to everyone who's in love with him. It's just Christopher Briney is just. I literally said, "What's wrong with his face?" when he first turned around.
He's just not your type.
When he'd be asking for pencils, or when he's telling you what the day is, it's
October 3rd.
It's not doing it for me. Why is she in love with him? No, but don't answer that. but what's the appeal? I don't get it.
Okay, so we have Chris Briney. Some people, actually most people, know him from like the Summer I Turned Pretty series, and everyone on that series loves him. And I can see the appeal.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
I'm not attracted to him per se, but I can see the appeal. Yeah. But for him to be playing Aaron Samuels, who is supposedly a jock and a popular guy, I feel like Chris Briney is more of like, he's attractive, but he's like the mysterious cool guy in the corner, kind of attractive.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really fit with an Aaron Samuels type. That's why I think it didn't work that well for me.
He's not the kind that, like love at first sight, which is what they were going for. In this one, it just felt like she's falling for him because that's what they did in the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, he just doesn't look like a jock at all. I'm so sorry. I mean, fine, I can see how he's cute in a way, pero parang iba yung tama ni Jonathan Bennett before. I remember finding him so cute. As in, he was super duper cute, but here it's just like, he doesn't look like he does both football and swimming.
He looks like he hasn't exercised a day.
Oh God. Right? He seemed like, fine, he's believable as somebody taking calculus, but not like the whole jock
God,
part.
Should he be a mathlete?
Hey, Kevin Apor was funny.
Yeah.
Did you see the OG's Kevin Apor's glow up?
Kevin G?
Yes! He's so hot now.
Are you?
I thought
we weren't going to have a thirst portion today.
Sorry. John Hamm can't help it.
Oh
Sorry.
my God.
Can I have a thirst portion?
Of course,
Renee.
go. Oh, yes. Renee is awesome. Renee is fantastic. She owns this movie.
I am very much in love with her. I don't know if you noticed when we were watching, but every time she comes on screen, like there are close-ups of her, I would just gasp and just, oh my God, I'm in love with her.
She's so pretty, TBH. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have no objections, clearly. And apparently that is something that a lot of people agree on because the reviews for the movie have been somewhat mixed. But everyone can agree that Renee Rapp as Regina George is like the best thing, honestly. She's fantastic.
Kevin G.
What the actual hell? Okay, so now we're looking at a picture of Kevin G from 2004, and apparently he had a glow up.
Mega glow up, just saying. Anyway, going back, I'm so happy Han also has a thirst portion. Welcome.
What the hell?
Very, very, wait, Tim Meadows still looks good.
Oh my God. Okay, fine. With his carpal tunnel hand.
Whatever, but you didn't leave the South Side for this.
Oh my God. Okay, fine. Okay, are we done? Are we done looking at, for everyone who's wondering, his name is Rajiv Surendra, and you can look him up, and yeah, he had a glow up, Kevin G. He's apparently a hot mathlete or whatever the hell.
I can see why he would take his shirt off now.
Why am I here?
He'd be like, oh, Kevin G.
What am I doing here?
So, yeah, okay, fine. But I'm sorry, we just can't stop referencing the old one, and I didn't want to do it, but...
No, I think, again, it's the filmmaker's fault also. Because they made so many references and so many callbacks. It's like they were afraid to make a straight adaptation of the musical, that they were using the 2004 film as like their safety net.
Oh, okay, here's a thought. I didn't see the Broadway musical, and I guess for me, watching the movie with the songs, none of them really stuck.
Sexy.
Well, as I can't remember, like there are songs like after you hear it once in the cinema and you go out and then it's stuck on your head.
Oh, yeah.
What was stuck on my head was actually the "It's Not My Fault," which is like the pop song.
Right, that's just the end credit song.
Yeah,
right.
But that's what was stuck on my head. Like I do remember a little bit of "Sexy," but I can't sing it. You know what I mean? So that doesn't have
Does it help that what you remember is the dance break?
Yeah, exactly. So, right? So I don't know if it just wasn't effective in really translating how good the songs maybe were. So maybe Han, you can shed a little light on how it was for you with the musical.
I think for me, when I left the cinema, the thing that really stuck out to me was Regina's solo. Like,
oh, that's the only line I remember.
Yeah, my name is Regina Jo.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna sing it.
Yeah, I can't
You just did. You just did.
But that's the only memorable line, and I can't sing anything else.
Yes.
And that's just, I can see your point because I've watched it and I've listened to the soundtrack so many times. So I'm bound to remember a lot of it. But when you say that you guys haven't watched the Broadway and then nothing really stuck into your heads, I think I get that.
So was it real? It's just really the songs, or is it just how they were, portrayed here?
I think it's more of how they were portrayed, because they had the potential to be so much more powerful, especially with singers like Renee, Oli, even like BB Wood and Avantika. They were really good.
Yep.
And it could have been so much more. And I guess I get it. It's not fully the musical, but I wish they could have leaned in more about that. And can I just talk about I forgot the title, but the one that Katie sings, and it's kind of an issue on TikTok for a while now, because they compared the Broadway version with the movie musical version, because she sang it so it's like she kind of sang it with not really no emotion, but really, really plainly. And in the musical, it was like having a crush on someone and feeling it like, oh wow, like it's a very visceral feeling, having a crush. And then when they sang it on Broadway, I think that's why most people are disappointed, because it was such a powerful song. And then when Katie sang it, it was like, it's unpleasant.
Yeah.
And then if you hear it side by side with the Broadway, it's very, very different, which is
like weak.
It's like, do you even have a crush on this boy?
Oh. Well, if it's that boy, Katie could have done better.
Yeah.
But, she's been living in Africa for years. She doesn't know any better.
His hair still doesn't look sexy pushed back.
It's sad, really.
Yeah, but fine. I know we've been ripping it to shreds for the past hour or so, but if you take it as is, it's still fun.
Yeah.
I think the best way to enjoy it is try not to compare. Or if you're watching it with fresh eyes, that's fine. And then that would actually be better if you watch this and then go on with the original after.
Right,
Yeah.
right. For me, I have kind of the opposite thing. For me, because of the compromises that they made in trying to have their cake and eat it, and it's kind of a remake, but it's also kind of an adaptation of the musical, but it's neither here nor there. I think it only really works if you're familiar with the original. I love the casting of Renee Rapp as Regina George. I love the little touches of Tim Meadows and Tina Fey being around. I love some of the updated gags. But overall, I still have this overall feeling that you only really, really appreciate what you're watching if you know what it's in reference to versus standing on its own.
To be fair, the reactions in the cinema, the loudest laughs were, besides the iCarly joke, were from the callbacks and punchlines, which were in the original. So I don't know if people were laughing because it was just really that funny, or most of the people I was with were just fans of the original, and it's like, ha ha, finally it's there. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't
You go,
know.
Glenn Coco.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there. I don't know if it's just really funny on its own.
That's true. I'm just glad about Glen Coco because there would have been a riot if they didn't have that line.
I guess. Did we miss any lines? No, I think no.
Boo, you whore.
They
Danny
don't even
DeVito.
say horrid, do they?
No,
They don't say whore. They don't say skanks. They don't say, has any of you been victimized by Regina George? It's a safe version of
Yeah,
something
very
that we
safe.
love.
I think the meanest they said, and it is also part of the lyrics in the Broadway musical. It's fugly cow, which is not that mean.
Yeah, that's not that mean. Anyone can be a fugly cow.
It's like, you called me a fugly cow. Oh, okay.
Okay.
But if it's a fugly slut,
Yeah.
so we're allowed to swear in this podcast anyway, so that's fine. So yeah.
What do you think, Han? How would you? I mean, what's your takeaway from all this?
I think I really, really enjoyed the film, but I think for me, I wish I hadn't seen the musical beforehand because I think that's the part that really not disappointed, but like kind of slightly let down, been a letdown for me because I listen to the soundtrack, a lot of Broadway songs on soundtrack when I work. So I have it in my mind all the time. And then when I watched it and then saw them singing and knowing that they have, I think I've said it like multiple times on here now, like a lot of them have so much potential for it to be so much more. And I think if I didn't know that before coming in, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. Yeah. And also, my final thought is like, I am just really, really, really in love with Renee Rapp.
That is a good takeaway.
Phenomenal and terrifying and perfection.
Like, Renee Rapp, if you hear this, I'm free on February 14th.
Maybe they can do like a proper remake next time. Like if they do a proper remake, let Renee Rapp really let loose, something with a proper budget and maybe more time and care into doing something new.
Or, they could push it more because, Tina Fey's a pusher. She pushes people. Could have pushed this even more. Anyway.
I think there should be like a reference counter here somewhere.
Well, for me, it's fun naman. Considering the tone, it's fun naman. Wait, okay, fine.
We don't hate it.
We don't hate it. Okay, I guess I would still say go watch it. Why not? I mean, it's not a waste of your time naman. So
for sure.
It's still a really fun movie.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Objectively, it is. But it's nice for fans of the original to see how, I guess, their favorite characters would evolve into this new, time and space with social media and stuff. Would I say iconic though? No. Like, if this was the reference of this new generation of kids and this is what they watch first, I don't think it would be as raw or effective or gritty or like it wouldn't punch as hard. So I'm just not sure if this new generation of kids who could most relate to the current high school experience would consider this as one of their top teen comedy movies, because I think you'd still have like All the Boys I've Loved Before, the fluffy stuff.
Right.
This could have been so different from all the fluff we're getting right now.
Yes.
Because right now, a trend I see with the rom-coms now, it's very light-hearted, and you finally have Mean Girls, which could be edgy, which could be more fun and more raw. Right. And this still was kind of fluffy. So, yeah.
It should have been more of a slap to the face.
I know. So, or a bus, or a big yellow bus. I don't know. But they will probably hear enough from their millennial parents saying that the 2004 one was so much better that they'll be compelled to watch the original. And that's, I guess, what is a win for me.
That's true. I look forward to hearing from people who are entering the Mean Girls universe for the first time through this movie.
Yes.
Because clearly the three of us are kind of biased because we know the original. It's so iconic. It's been in our brains for 20 years.
Shut up. See, even just the tone of delivery is so iconic.
Yes. And I think I agree with you in that they could have made it a bit more risque, not necessarily with the sex stuff, but just in how gritty they treated the material.
Yeah.
Just because Regina George would be afraid to say something that would get herself canceled, according to Tina Fey, I don't think the movie should have taken that approach either. The movie had a real chance to say something about how nasty high school kids can be to each other because everyone's trying to find their own identity. Everyone's trying to find where they fit in and discover their personalities. And this movie takes the safest possible way of doing it.
Yeah, it's like you don't get hit by the big yellow school bus. You get hit by that little Segway.
Yeah.
Instead. Which, I mean, literally is in this 2024 movie. But yeah, that's just the effect. It's not like, whoa, this is going to be revered for years. Nah, doesn't get that vibe.
Probably not. But just before we close off, I love one of the gags that I really love in the new one is how freaking high Regina George is at the end.
Actually, that was in the deleted scenes of the original where she's like, I'm on a lot of pain medication right now, so I forgive you. But then, or like how when Katie breaks off the crown and she like hands it over to people and Regina just like misses. I love that bit.
I love that because again, it's something we haven't seen, but it's something we know, but recontextualized.
Yeah, but it works naman eh.
Yeah.
So it's like no need for the extreme safety net of the original.
Yeah. And that is what we thought of Mean Girls. Let us know what you guys thought about it. I really want to hear from people who are watching Mean Girls for the first time.
Yes,
people
please.
Without a lot of baggage, like the three people you've been listening to. Thank you so much, Han, for joining us today.
You.
Where can we find you on socials?
I'm at Hanwich, HANNWICH on all platforms, especially on TikTok. I do a lot of stupid shit on TikTok. So.
You'd probably be one of the people who would make memes out of Katie or Regina.
Probably.
Okay, if you're doing that wet look next week, I'm not going to be surprised. But anyways, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Sub-Auteurs. You can catch us at Sub-Auteurs Podcast or our Facebook group, Sub-Auteurs We Like Movies. Let us know what you thought of this movie. We don't know if Anjo's going to be back next week, but it's okay. Han is awesome. And thank you so
Not
much.
passive-aggressive at all, Misha.
Because we don't do that in the 21st century.
Okay.
We're not as mean.
Okay.
Girl.
Oh, God.
Anyways, we're your host. I'm Misha.
I can't believe we didn't squeeze fetch into this.
Because it's not a thing. It's not gonna be a thing. Stop trying to make it a thing.
And, admittedly, the 2024 one wasn't fetch for me. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That's my...
Yeah. True. And we're the Sub-Auteurs. Thank you.
Thank you. That was fun. Boo, you whore.
I didn't say anything.
This is where we squeeze shit in while we can.
I know.
Is your muffin buttered? I don't know where else to insert other things.
I'm a sexy mouse. Duh.
She just says mouse, Misha. Get it right.
Fine. Duh.